What's up, guys? Today we're coming at you with a Odd Eyes deck profile. So let's jump into this deck profile. Let's see what we're coming at you with. Running 3 of the mandatory Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon. This is the main one you want to get into your hand first turn. It's going to allow you, whenever one of your Odd Eyes is destroyed, to be able to special summon one of your Odd Eyes from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So that can be very useful to you for the plays you want to make. Running 3 of the original Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. This card is just like all around, it's, to me, it needs to be ran at 3 in this build. You want to run it at 3, that way you can have all the level 7s, that way you can get your combos going, floating the way you want to. The main thing about this guy is he can search out your low levels, and that can be very useful for getting your Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum effect in phase if you have to. Running 3 Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon. Odd Eyes Phantom is just a very good card. When he's pendulum summoned, he's going to allow you to get that 24 extra burn whenever you do damage to your opponent for every Odd Eyes in your pin scale. Another thing, whenever he's in the pin scale, to be able to bump up any of your monsters that attacks one of your opponent's cards is very good. By 1200, that can help you get over some really problematic cards. Also running 3 Odd Eyes Persona Dragon. Persona is just good for hating on those extra deck monster effects. We don't want them getting too crazy with their extra deck monster effects. If we could stop them, but that's what we need to do. We're also running 2 Mirage. Mirage, like I said, he's a mascot for the Odd Eyes. If nothing else, he's just a good normal summon monster. He's also another high scale, which can be useful depending on how the play's set up. But the main thing is he can be normal summon, help you get into those Electromite plays that much easier. We're running 1 Odd Eyes Phantasm Dragon. I do run this at 1. I'm debating on whether I bump it up to 2. The scale effect is very good for pitching a card and adding one of your extra deck monsters back up to your hand. That's very useful, but the main thing I like about him the most is he gets over about any monster in the game. For every face up, pendulum monster you have in your extra deck, you're going to be able to drop your opponent's monster by 1,000. It doesn't target, so that's very useful. Also running 1 Performance Power Odd Eyes Dissolver and 1 Performance Power Odd Eyes Synchron. These 2 are good for going into your fusion plays, into your synchro plays. These right here just, they help, bind the deck all together, in my opinion. You got your big OTK pushes with the rest of the pendulum monsters, but these 2 right here help to get to the fusions and the synchros, and that way you can, float around your opponent's problematic cards. We're also running the 3 Dark Worm and the 1 Donut Gate Zero. This right here is just in every pendulum deck. You want to run this as much as possible. You want to be able to get this into the graveyard and start getting your plays going, especially summon it when you got no monsters on the field. Get your donut and get your coffee too. Lastly, for the monsters, we're running 3 Chronograph Sorcerer and the 1 Time Gazer. This is just another good little starter engine. This, this is a brick, but it does help out a lot with a lot of the plays that you got to make too. If he does end up in your hand, he's just another normal summon card, so it's not that big a deal. Chronograph is going to be able to help you get out of plays if they decide to floodgate you out, so it can be very useful for things that you want to do. And that's it for the monsters. For the spell cards, running 2 Allure Darkness. This is just to help to eat through the deck a little bit faster. We got plenty of dark monsters in the deck. We got plenty of multiple copies of monsters in the deck, so we can banish out what we don't need and just keep our plays going. We're running 1 Pendulum Holt. This is still, I think, is a good alternative. If you want to run another Allure Darkness, if you want to run Pot of Desires. Me, I like Pendulum Holt because it's searchable and it helps get plays going. I usually make my plays and then get some extra monsters in hand or resources in hand before I pin something. We're running 2 Duelist Alliance. Duelist Alliance is just all around good to be able to search out your Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon, your Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, or even your Pendulum Holt. It's very good, helps you get to the resources that you need to when you need it. Very good card. In my opinion, we run 3 of the best, searcher in the game. Spiral Flame Strike is the very good rotor for the Odd Eyes level 7 monsters. You end up playing this card, get one of your odd odds level 7s. If you have odd odds on the field and you have a problematic card on the field that you want to destroy, you can destroy that card. So that's very, very useful and helpful to the deck. Also running one Summoner Arc to make sure we get to that Arc Pendulum as fast as possible. And I'm also running one Set Rotation and one Terraforming. This is just a nice little change up for me in the fact that I don't like running 2 Terraforming in this deck. To me, you get Sky Iris too fast, but the Set Rotation is mainly for those that like to play Metaverse. And Metaverse could be played in multiple decks, not just the, you know, Mystic Mind Burn, things like that, but just to be able to stop your opponent from putting certain cards on the field that they want to put out there could really change the game state. Go ahead and stop them from their plays, and that can really help out a lot. To go with the Mystic Mind, I meant the Metaverse Set Rotation and the Terraforming, I run the 2 Sky Iris and the 1 Dragon Ravine. Like I was saying, I'm cutting down the Sky Iris to add in a Dragon Ravine, for the fact is Dragon Ravine can help me to send my dragons to the graveyard, pitch one off, and automatically get that Dark Worm into the graveyard that I need. It's just the same as if I had Foolish Burial, Dragon Shrine. Also too, if push comes to shove, I see them flip Metaverse, I have Set Rotation, I can flip it as a chain. Go ahead and get this stuff, set the Dragon Ravine on their side of the field, and, you know, just get the plays going the way you want to. Also running 1 Foolish Burial and 1 Dragon Shrine. This is just a good little setup that I like to play, 1 and 1 of each. Be able to get that Dark Worm to the graveyard is very crucial for a lot of the plays, and I just want to get it in there as fast as possible. And lastly, for the spell cards, I'm running 1 Return to Dragon Lord, just to be able to get back those dragons that we use for our XYZs and anything that we might pitch off. But that is it for the main deck. For the extra deck, we're running 1 Perform Power Gatling Ghoul. This is just to make sure we get that burn damage on our opponent, making sure that, you know, if we get in those end time procedures, we go ahead and have it out for it. We're also running 2 Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. This is the main boss monster for the deck. You want to get this on board as fast as possible. Also too, being able to make sure that you got a good negate on board that helps with recursion plays. Being able to spin one of your pendulum monsters back into the deck is very useful. Also running 1 Borlo Savage Dragon. This is just to make sure that we got another good negate on board. Also too, he gets a bump up for whatever link monster you put underneath him. That's very good. Also running 1 Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, you know, a lot of people would question why you put this in here, but the fact that you can, like I said, end time procedures, you got to do something during your turn, they done set their board up, or you pendulum summon for 4 or 5 cards, you can end up just using his effect, blow up everything on the field, on the monster spots, and, you know, deal 500 per, so that's very useful. Running 1 Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. This is just helping to get extra monsters on board from out of the pen scales and setting up extra plays. Also too, the Hate in the Battle Phase for monster effects can be very useful. We run 1 F8 Don Dragster. Don Dragster just to make sure we be able to get those special summons, not special summons, those spell cards and trap cards hated on. You know, we don't want them getting too much on us, so if we can stop those effects, that's what we want to do. We're running 1 Odd Eyes Absolute. This is usually to link off with going to our Deco Talker or Zephyr Metatron and end up getting our Vortex effect. It's very useful for getting that out there, but also too, he's very useful if your opponent has too many monsters on board, too many big monsters. Until you get to the place where you want to, you can negate those effects. Start special summon Odd Eyes out of the graveyard. We're running 1 Red Eyes Flare Metal. This is also too, like I said, once again, you're not going to go into the end time procedures too much, but being able to make sure that your opponent has to pay for life points is very good. That way that they have to start calculating what plays they're really going to make and how far they're going to extend into their plays. Also running 1 number 11 Big Eye. We're going to snatch steal your stuff, baby. We ain't going to let you have too much. If you get too crazy over there, you get something too good, I ain't got it on my side of the field, so I need it. We're also running one Heretics Field of Heavenly Spheres. This is just a good, right now, just make sure get this card on board. It's another good interruption. Interrupt your opponent's play and then still be able to special summon one of your dragons. Usually it's going to be your persona. If you got Return to Dragon Lords in the graveyard, that's going to make it even better. We're also running the one Wee Wee Witch Apprentice. This is just all around good card. If you don't want to go into your Heavy Metamorphosis Electromite, this is just a backup play. Bump up all your monsters and just go for push damage. We're also running one Heavy Metamorphosis Electromite. Electromite is the best link monster for Pendulums, bar none. This needs to go back up to 2. This is just a good card. As long as we can run it, run it. Running one Deco Talker. Deco Talker is still, in my opinion, one of the best link monsters. The fact that he can help you to, if your opponent wants to target one of your cards on the field, negate that by triggering off one of the cards that he points to, and just keep your plays rolling. And lastly, we're running one Zephyr Metatron just to make sure we got the 3-pointers pointing down and help to extend our plays. But that's it for the deck profile, guys. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Also, to be sure to Gallic gun that like button, share, comment, subscribe. Thanks, guys, for all your love and support. We're out.